Right, so welcome to part 2 of this drop point hunting knife build. Um, I've been wanting to experiment with scales and liners a little bit more. I think in the last video I showed you where I cut these, to make a 2 pattern colour scale, and I started thinking about liners. So I want to show you the idea I've come up with. Not having a lot of money to put into this kind of hobby making or knife making in general, whatever, I've kind of got to adapt and use materials you might not normally consider. So I'm going to whip the camera around and show you what I've been working on. Oh, before I do, I want to show you something else first. I haven't bothered collecting any for a while, but recently I've had a few people that have been quite generous towards me, and they've sent me a few bits and included a couple of stickers. So just let me go through the new ones I've got real quick. First of all, this gentleman, lovely talented man, sent me a few small bits of timber to use as knife scales. I'm not going to show you them just yet. You'll have to wait for that, for when I actually use them, but don't worry, I will mention at the time where they came from. Also, as you know, recently I met up with Honor. Again, he gave me a few bits. I actually think I've posted online, like on Facebook and Instagram, what he gave me, but again, when I use the bits and bobs he gave me, I will absolutely mention it. I will say while I'm doing this, if anybody sent me something and I forget to mention it, I apologise now, but when it comes to actually using it, I will remember. Second sticker from Neil, from Honor. Jonathan at Bespoke Bloke. I'm pretty sure he sent me something, but for the life of me I can't remember where it is now. And then also you've got our kid, Wazza, good man. The lovely Claire, very talented woman. And I think I'm pretty much up to date on my sticker wall now. And if you're wondering what this is, I must have had them stickers for 15 years. They're not mine as such. I made my daughter a baby changing station, which turned into a clothes cupboard, which has since turned into my workshop unit. And she used to love the Teletubbies, and we bought her a load of stickers, and she stuck them. She just stuck that on the cabinet, what I'm using now as my workshop. So I thought, I'm going to keep that. Just a little memory thing of singing and jumping around to the Teletubbies that used to really irritate me, but it's a lovely memory. So in case you was wondering what that is, that's the story behind it. Anyway, the idea behind the liners is to use a plastic chopping board. I am a little bit concerned that it might be too thick, but if that's the case, when I've got the pieces cut, I'll try and flat sand them down. So what I've done is I have scored a line just wide enough than the scales, and everything seems to get bloody wider, but it'll all come into size. So basically what I've got to do is just run a knife down there. It is pretty soft plastic, and just basically do that. Anyway, I'm going to get them cut up a bit, get them closer to the size, and see how we get on. So I'll get back to you in a minute. Right, so basically I've sandwiched everything together, and as you can see, it is looking quite thick. For such a for quite a small knife, I think it is looking a bit too thick. Now, I do know I'm going to lose a bit of width on the wooden scales, and maybe even a little bit on the knife metal itself, but I don't think I'm going to lose so much that it makes it better. So what I'm going to do is I am going to actually attempt to sand them down a bit. It's going to be a bit tricky, I think, keeping hold of it without grinding my fingers off, but I'm going to give it a go and see if I can get somewhere near, and I'll get back to you. I'm not so confident, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, I think with a bit of perseverance it might work. I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but this is the area I haven't sanded, and this is the area that I have. Thickness, I think it is coming down. Well, it's got to be, hasn't it? I mean, I've been riving at it on a 60 grit belt, which I think is starting to clog up. Just looking at it, it's plastic. It's not hard plastic. It's going to melt on it, I suppose. But I'll keep going. See where we get. It's all about the learning. Right, okay. I've got one of them sanded down, and as you can see in the reflection, it isn't particularly smooth on either side. However, it is, I don't know if you're going to be able to see. Bloody hell, Stephen, sort yourself out. It is thinner. So I'm not going to waste any time on the other side just yet. I'm going to put them aside, and I'm just going to leave it for now and give it some thought while I'm working on other bits of the knife. Two things that are bugging me really. I'm not entirely convinced it's going to work and do very well, and I'm not sure about the colour. I'm actually, if I'm going to go this route or something like this, I'm actually thinking of using something that's more akin to a washing up bowl, something like that, because the plastic's already thin. Now I know a washing up bowl tends to be somewhat curved or convex or whatever, but that ain't a bother. I know I can just put it in the oven, let it warm up, and then put it between two flat objects and it'll sort it out. I used to work with perspex quite a lot, so I know I can do that. So I'm just going to put them liners on hold for a minute, for the time being, because I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced, and I don't want to get it in glue and regret it. So anyway, I'll crack on with the next bit, see what happens. finally, I'm guessing that I got it to a decent enough temperature to soften the metal. Absolutely no way could I drill through this beforehand, but as you can see, nice clean hole all the way through. Just what I wanted. Brilliant, things are falling into place. I've just jinxed it, Anna. Okay, so in my enthusiasm of actually managing to drill through this file, I almost forgot while I was there that I needed to drill a couple of holes in the handle as well. So thankfully I remembered to do that while I still had something decent to hold on to. But now I'm going to start rough grinding the profile of the knife. Can you see me if I stand in? Yeah, that'll do, yeah. You'll be alright, you can see. Well, also, as you can see, through softening the metal, this is now grinding a lot easier and a lot nicer. Although it's still taking a bit of time, this is without doubt grinding so much better. I've got a disc on that I've had on ever since I bought that machine. I can only imagine that if I actually changed the disc it'd go even better, but I'm a bit of a tight ass and there is still a bit of life left in that sanding disc. I'm doing it on the sanding disc because simply I find it easier. The work table on this, it's only a little Clark 4-inch belt 6-inch disc sander, but it's doing the job and I'm really happy with it. But the table on this is really quite sturdy and I've managed to get it bob on square, so I don't know if you can tell so well, but it's coming out really good. And even on the belt that it's on, it's giving a nice edge, nice enough edge. I don't know if you'll be able to see my marks for the knife because the lighting in here is terrible. I really need to do something about that. But you might just be able to see the markings there for my knife now. They're basically the lines. Oh, I'm no good with that. They're basically the lines I'm grinding down to. Once the lines have gone, then I've ground as far as I'm gonna. But that's my progress up to now. I've got a little lanyard hole drilled, all for pins. It's grinding away like a champ, and up to now, I'm quite happy. My biggest joy of this project so far is that I managed to soften the metal enough to work it. Had I not done that, then I don't know. I wouldn't have got it done. I'd have bent through all my belts, all my discs, all my drill bits, and I probably still wouldn't have scratched it. You just don't really realise how hard steel is, I suppose. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to crack on with this for a bit. There is obviously going to be other parts to this video, but we'll just see how it goes.